Hey there, welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel. I am, of course, Dave Does, and with me today I have the wonderful Alex Sandra.
For what it's worth, I say, fuck the silence. I'm fucking done with the neglect and violence.
Hi Alex, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
It's evening for you, it's early morning for me, so we've got two different things. You're getting tired, I'm still tired waking up, so we're both probably relying on coffee at the moment. So this
I
should
feel like
be fun.
I feel like evening and morning is kind of like similar feelings. Like you're kind of like tired in the evening and you just woke up. You're also kind of feeling not very
And you also
energized.
have to be wary of your neighbours as well at this time of the morning. So I have to be really careful in the mornings when I don't have the speakers too loud, especially if I'm doing reviews or anything like that. But we're going to cover lots of information today. So hopefully, I've not sent you any questions ahead of time because the way I like to do it is throw questions that hopefully you've never had to deal with in any other interviews that you've done. Um, and not the same ones that you'd usually get from like the press companies who, whenever you do a press release, they kind of go, "Oh, we've got this e magazine that wants to send you," and they ask you about which five bands would you like to go on tour with, and which bands influenced you. We're not going to do any of that because I'm sure that's all out there. So go find that. Go watch someone else. Spread the love. Um, but first one I want to just try to cover off is not everyone will have covered you before or will have seen you, especially here in the UK. Wouldn't have had a chance to see it because you're based in, was it LA?
In Los Angeles right now.
You
Yeah.
are out there at the moment. So, in a brief paragraph, couple of paragraphs, could you just describe your music and also what your performances are like for our listeners?
I'm Georgian American metalcore artist. When I say Georgian American, I always need to specify it's country Georgia,
Not
not a
not the
state.
county, not the
Not the
state.
state. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I would say I'm blending genres of between metalcore or alternative metal,
Right.
and I had big influences of new metal and alternative rock. And my music highlights social issues. I give voices to social injustices, speak for survivors of DV and SA, and my live performances are very energetic and interactive. I love when I can engage with audience, and I love when everybody feels empowered, loved, take care of, and
Mm.
like in a good way. Like the best shows so far have been those shows when you are performing on the stage and this magic happens. Like I called hive mind, when bomb and you are in this feeling that you kind of feel like you're connected to everyone and everybody knows what you think, what you're thinking, and you know what they're thinking. You literally stare at each other, although
Mm.
light is blasting. You're having best time of your fucking life.
True. As a musician myself, I understand that completely. I think unless you've been a musician and maybe if you're an actor on stage or you do, it's with those times when you're actually fully in the moment and you fully connect. Because there are times I'm sure you've had it the same where you will go on stage and there will be things that will go through your mind. You're thinking about something that's happened before, something's happened during the day, and you sometimes are going a little bit more through the motion and you're trying to put on a performance. The performance isn't naturally coming from you. You're thinking about it so much about, right, on this song I've got this thing, I need to make sure we've got the breakdown coming up, I need to connect with you, I need to look out for someone to connect with in the out in the crowd so I can get that. But it's the times when you're literally forgetting all of that and you're just in that moment, which is the best, I think, in your live shows.
Not every show is like that, unfortunately. I'm hopeful that I will be able to put my mind in the state where I am emotionally available to engage, but
Mm.
it is really depends on lots of things, right? It depends on crowd, it depends on sound, it depends on capacity of the venue. But in general, I would say I have some rituals I do now because I've learned that don't need to be only physically warmed up and vocally warmed up, like because after a show next day I'm just dying because my just first of all I have emotional withdrawal because
Yeah.
I don't just perform. after show and before the show, I'm there in the crowd talking to people, supporting other bands. I don't lie down and waiting like until I'm being awakened, right? I work emotionally. It's a lots
Mm.
of emotional work, in a good way. I love doing it, but the hype is so high. The next day you just have emotional withdrawal, and plus after headbanging so hard, just like. Come on, I'm like late 30s. I'm late 30s. My
Right.
my my body is not the same anymore. So I'm hitting the gym now. So what I'm trying to say that I don't only vocally warm up and physically warm up, like I do neck
Mm.
exercises and vocal runs and stuff like that. I also do breathing exercises in private. Because I'm
Okay.
a small artist, most often that happens in the restrooms because we
Yes.
don't often have a green room.
Not
But
many backstage places.
Yeah, I take a private space
Mm.
where I can breathe in, breathe out, calm my mind and be ready to connect.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid, but it is actually scientifically like people study this. It's like, people go to meditation,
Mm.
they use sound to relax their muscles and brain, and like same thing here. It's just like big crowd and metal music. That's it.
It's a joy. I always find it really interesting talking to different artists about performances, shows. I've played with a lot of different bands, and the bands I play with at the moment, and everyone has their own different pre-show way of working. So I know, like vocalists, usually actually quite often vocalists will like to be out and talking to people, but they also have that little, usually about 30 minutes before they go on, they kind of start going through routines and their exercises, make sure they've got their vocal runs and stuff like that. And I can't be around. I'm a drummer and I can't be around anyone before the show. So for about 30 minutes to an hour beforehand, I'm out the back and I'm completely internalizing. And then after the show, I'm completely internalizing everything. So people come up to me and will start talking to me, and I'll be like, yeah, great, thank you. People probably will leave me alone and go, man, that guy's a bit of a dick, isn't he? I'm like, no, no, sorry, I can't help. I'm really sorry. It's just I can't talk to people. I'm always envious of people like yourself who can actually do that and like get off stage and still connect with people and stuff. 'Cause I'm just drained. I'm gone. That's it.
I,
I'm
I,
spent.
I can tell you this: a drummer don't really need to engage like that.
Mm.
The front singer is the one who needs to engage like that. Doesn't matter band or solo act. Of course, I when I hire session musicians, I want to make sure that they behave appropriately, not with the only venue representatives, also with people. I would not
Mm.
let any of my teammates or band members like be rude to people, but that's not what we're talking about right
No,
now.
no.
We're talking about the emotional capacity after show. So when I'm done performing, because I also sell my merch,
I
I do
know. Got to
lots of
go
things,
cover the
right?
merch desk.
Yeah, so I cover the merch desk. Also, I talk to people, and when I get off the stage, sometimes there's a little line of people who wants to say hi and share the emotions. And here's the thing: 1 minute right after the show, I am very dizzy. I'm very because final song so far is a crisis, and I go the hardest on crisis,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm literally almost blacking out. So I just need like 2 minutes to take a breath. I sometimes I smoke a cigarette. I
Always good for your lungs.
have my nicotine rush. I need to quit this shit, but anyways, then I come to crowd and talk. But it's not. I want to talk to them. I love talking to people. It's just like dripping sweaty
Yeah.
and also very dizzy. So all I do is just smile and give hugs and then snap a photo and like like some
Mm.
easygoing things. Deep conversations are hard, especially first 10 minutes after the show. Later, yes.
I mean, most people, I suppose, when you get off stage, it's always very much the "oh, you're amazing," and you have to do the gracious "thank you, thank you, thank you very much, I appreciate that, thank you," which is quite nice because it's quite kind of an endorphin buzz. But it's nice to then get into those conversations a bit later. But um, we're going to go back now. So I like to know a little bit more about the artist's background. So we're going to go back not just like when you started music. We're going to go back even further. So I want to talk about what's in your remembering, what was the first sort of music you connected to when you were a child? So we all heard music. We had our parents played music in the house and that was fine, but that wasn't your music. That wasn't the first one that you kind of went, I really like this. And then I'm not asking you about like what music made you want to become a singer, but what was the first songs where you were like, this is it. I'm enjoying music. Can you remember the earliest ones that
Yes, yes, absolutely. Of course, music was a big part of our household.
Hmm.
Actually, Georgia is really big on music and on wine.
Yes.
So, yeah. And growing up in Eastern Europe, especially post-Soviet Union, was interesting. It's a very historical place. Um, so we were not allowed to listen music from abroad, and I was born in USSR.
Right.
And I honestly, even now, I don't listen to modern Russian or Georgian music. There are some artists I really respect, but in my playlist, this is not something I put on. It's just different, you know. Listen, when countries for 70 years kind of closed, like not one country, several, like many countries, but it's
Yes.
like one group of countries. When they're closed from influences of other countries, it becomes very like authentic and conservative, like lots of like goods and bads mix,
Hmm.
right? And music is, I always felt like I don't engage with, like I don't feel it, like I don't enjoy it. And then I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5, and somebody brought smuggled Michael Jackson music videotape,
Right.
and I listened. I watched on like on TV.
Hmm.
They were like compilation of all music videos, Michael Jackson music videos. Pirate.
Right.
I watched with fucking opened mouth. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then right after that, I started watching American movies like Terminator and Aliens. And fun story is that how you actually get those tapes, like it was illegal to sell them.
Right.
So as a child, I would just go in a secret place somewhere in the like underground area, like basement, you know, like
Mm.
some build apartment buildings has this
Yeah.
basement for like, I don't know, like utility services and stuff.
Mm.
And then you go there, look right and left, nobody's coming, knock the door, and somebody opens the door into darkness, and you would imagine it's like some kind of cave with drugs, but it's actually pirate cassettes of foreign
Videotapes.
music and movies. And I would go and get like whole bag of movies and music video tapes, and I would just go home and sit in front of TV and watch the whole fucking day. So Michael Jackson.
And you suddenly think nowadays that what kids have no idea what we had to go through to get music and pirating and stuff, and we didn't have to deal
You would
with that.
buy
But
you would buy New Musical Express to read at least something about artists you like. You would buy lots of little underground newspaper magazines to have a fucking poster. And then when internet happened, we would go to internet cafes at night
mm,
to download image from the internet and then print this image in very low resolution to put it on the wall. And then mixtapes, like
oh
it's the
yeah,
whole culture, you know.
and then CDs, and then you burnt CDs to put in your car. It was great.
I know, and then all of them are like
Jumping
and
around, yeah.
then now we have this Gen Z talking shit about us being posers.
God, I love that.
And they call something what we grew up with Y2K vibes.
Well, I was Y2K, so I was lucky because I turned 50 in 2 years.
So
So
we became decade.
the thing, I can remember tapes really, really well. I remember recording off the radio. I remember buying 7-inch singles because records were still key at that point before they got before CDs, way before CDs and stuff like that, and getting the record player out and putting music on. And yeah, I still wish we could go back to that, but we can talk about the future of music. We will get to the future of music and what that looks like. But I do want to ask then. So we've talked about your first experience. What was there any particular artist or a particular song that made you go, "That's what I want to do. I want to become a singer. I want to be a musician." Was there anyone that particularly switched you onto it?
Uh, well, I know which artist made me choose rock music,
Okay.
but I just actually don't remember the time when I realized I wanted to be an artist,
Hmm.
because as long as I was forming memories, I clearly knew I'm going to be an artist when I grow up. Um, but when it comes to particular band, it's Linkin Park.
Oh, okay. And was that like the first album? Was it straight through like a
It
hybrid
was
theory?
it was In the End,
Okay.
the song.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great song. Um, so do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Yeah, it was disgusting. Not disgusting, a very bad song. It was so
How
boring.
and what? How bad was it? Was it bad lyrics, bad chord changes, just not?
Everything. It sucked. It was just like silly chords, uh, weird vocal progressions, and very lame lyrics. Very simple. And here's the thing: when you are a young music, not even musician yet, you don't know how to write songs.
Mm,
You don't know, you not only don't have a skill to play, you also don't have a skill to write. But on the top of that, you are a young adult who thinks that you're going to pick up guitar and come up with something like Linkin Park came up with.
mm.
And then you are so disappointed that your thing sucks. And then you don't know how to not be upset about that. Like,
Right.
it
Yeah.
takes time to build the self confidence and be less particular with your own, like, judgment, like, this self doubt
Mm,
is a serious thing in musician career. Right, we often meet people who are talented and thinking that they're idiots, like they are not talented enough, and then we meet these idiots who think they are like a rock stars. But then
yep.
there is such a little amount of people who actually can have both of these worlds. It's
Mm,
good for artists to think that he or she is a rock star. Actually, it's very necessary,
mm,
right? Especially on those days when people tell you that you're not going to make it. You need to believe in yourself. At the same time, you need to let it go. You need to let
mm.
it go. It's okay. You wrote shitty song, just leave it behind. Write new song, or go back to that song and redo it decade later or something.
Because you actually kind of touched on one of the questions I was going to ask a bit later, so I'm going to go into this one. So, you post quite a lot. It's like you've got your social contents and stuff, and we'll come to social media and the importance of that as well shortly. But dealing with trolls, negative comments, stuff like that, I'm always interested in how people cope with this because anytime you put yourself out to the general public, and as soon as you put yourself online and you have something to say, if you want to do a music video, you want to do a podcast or anything like that, you open yourself up to people with an alternative opinion. And unfortunately, those people generally don't have brain cells most of the time, in my opinion, because they like to attack. They don't like to do logical conversations. They just want to go down on the negative. So I have my way of dealing with those trolls on ADK's YouTube channel. But from your point of view, when you get sort of negative feedback or trolly comments, what's your coping mechanism? How do you deal with those?
Well, I'm not new at this. I've been in social media for a long time as a creator. Even when social media just happened, when it was like MySpace time for
Mm,
America, and it was Russian Facebook type situation
right.
in Eastern Europe, like, I already back then had 10,000 followers just out of nowhere. It's just like, I don't know. As an artist, I was pretty underground, but I was kind of well known in our region. Like I always I like I reach to a level of regionally known artist, and then something happens and life falls apart and I start all over again in new place. And so I am at this point when I'm finally breaking through being national act. And it's first time in my life for 20 plus years I'm in music. I'm finally doing it. No more pregnancies, no more marrying and losing jobs and stuff like
Yes.
that. Anyways, I'm not new to social media. That's the one thing. Another thing, I'm adult. I'm in therapy for 7 years, and I am a survival of, I think, almost every type of abuse. I'm not saying I am not feeling anything when I read them. Most of the time, when I read majority of those, and also, by the way, they think they are very clever about those comments. I've seen it all. It's nothing new. Very
Mm.
rarely someone will come up with something fucking amazing. Like it is all lame and repeat, like they saw it somewhere and they're gonna reuse it. Like
Yeah.
it is so rare that someone will come up with something, like all of them are trying so hard to be cool and then they look pathetic. Anyways, I just want to say is that it's very every year it becomes less and less personal.
Mm.
And you read it, I was like, okay, well, I was passing that street week ago and I saw that man on the ground covered with a sheet and he was having a conversation on the phone. And like I'm not, I have other like opinions about homelessness. I'm not trying to make fun of anything right now. And that situation is very sad that people are forced to live on the street. I myself been homeless a few times in my life and it sucked. But what I'm trying to say right now is
Mm.
that everybody has phone. Mental hospitals have phone. Like it's not like you need to go to the like telegraph and beep 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 message.
Yeah.
No, you have fucking smartphone.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a home, you have a phone.
Mm.
If you don't have, like if you are checked in mental hospital, you have a phone. So what I'm trying to say, if you are unstable at this moment of your life right now for any reasons, and I'm so sorry if you're going to tragic story of your life, but sometimes people are unable to cope with their traumas, so they are going to internet and just
Mm.
spreading the anger there, right? And then I just imagine that someone very unstable have access to the internet. And can I be angry at unstable person on the internet?
Are you talking
Uh,
about Trump at this point?
yeah, maybe. um, what I'm trying to say here is that sometimes it hits the pain spot.
Mm.
I'm a human being. Sometimes I'm getting angry, but most of the time, I would say now 85% of negative comments, I use them in my own advent,
Yeah.
and I use them as an engagement or amazing topic to highlight, or I use them to show social issues such as misogyny or homophobia or transphobia, because
Mm.
often people think I'm a man and then they've been very transphobic towards me, and I'm like, metal scene has lots of problems, people.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about music because that's probably a good thing for us to talk about that. Writing music. Now, usually when I talk to a band, it's a really easy conversation to have because I'm like, oh, so who comes up with riffs in your band and how does that come together? Do you go in the studio and you jam? Now, as a solo artist who brings in sort of your sessions musicians for your live, how does a full track come? Do you do all the instrumentation yourself? Do you get guys in that help kind of write songs? How does it work for yourself?
I do play multiple instruments. None of those I play professionally.
Mm.
To be honest, I I love bass guitar, but I haven't had enough patience and love towards instrument to completely like become good at this. I mean, I play piano, I play guitar, I play bass guitar a little bit, and I do not do the full production. I work with a producer. So, but I have my key points, which are very important to me. And I have done this many times. And I have written songs for myself and for projects.
Hmm.
Like, for example, I have few projects when I had written songs as Alexandra, metal artist for a games company, like video game company.
Right. Okay.
Um, Although I'm metal artist, it came out very like rock with elements of futuristic
Hmm.
stuff like that because it fits their theme.
Theme.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a certain routine I follow, and sometimes when I start working with a new producer, they're a little confused because this is not the way they are used to work. For example, they are happy to send you whatever they have, and you splash your vocals on the top and then mix and master and done.
Hmm.
I don't do that. I absolutely don't do that. I have like I chord progression should be something what I will play, sing, and I'll be like, okay, I like it. Or I will come up myself and producer will tell me like, hey, let's switch up this chord. I don't like how it sounds, or it's gonna sound better. So co-writing is the one of the most important parts
Hmm.
for me. So when I connect to a person who I'm gonna be writing song with, I love working with same people by the way, but sometimes you need to switch up. And when that happens, I have few key. I have this conversation when I start talking to a person, and if that vibe check didn't pass, I don't work with the person.
Right. Okay.
Um, there are a few things. I'm not talking about anything crazy, but just
Hmm.
you are a musician. You often meet people who doesn't have any social skills, and you don't want to engage with someone who doesn't have social skills, or you don't want to engage with someone who is not ready to sign contract with you, like co-writing contract where you will define how many percentage of royalties this person will get, and he will give you your like ASCAP or BMI number, and
Hmm.
all of that is going to be big pain in the ass later. Although I'm a small artist, I've been in this. I'm small artist still at my late 30s because I have two kids
Right.
and I immigrated to three countries. So I am keep doing what I was doing in my early 20s over and over again. So I'm good at my shit. So when I write songs with producer, I need the producer play instrument. If producer doesn't play instrument, I think we're gonna have a problem of working together.
Yeah.
So we sit down and we write from scratch. And within 4 hours, we have demo, complete demo. And now we work through Zoom. Zoom is very accessible. What we do is I'm on the Zoom call with the producer, and sometimes maybe we invite the lyricist. Depends, depends on the situation. And um, I play instrument while I sing. They play instrument while they sing or play, like put together ideas. And
Right.
then producer takes 20 minutes on the mute while he's like putting together the instrumental. Then he bounces it, we listen to it, and then I'm like, hey, I don't like this part, or I like this part. Oh, can we add this? Can we add that? So
Right.
basically, we co-write together. I do not affect too much on little instrumental parts, but I do sometimes ask to change things because I have certain vision and I can show on my instrument what I mean, or
Hmm.
I can sing and sing the riff with my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. It works.
um, when it comes to lyrics, we also write lyrics. So within 4 hours, we write song from scratch, full lyrics, full production, full vocal composition, like full thing.
Hmm.
And then I get the draft of the demo and I track vocals on the top just for the demo. And then I listen to it over and over again. Most likely, 9 out of 10, I love what we have because we are already skilled, and I work with a skilled producer who've written over 100 songs.
Right.
few hundred songs. And when we write, we know if this is a good quality or not. And if it's not good quality, we're not just doing it. We just scratch the idea, throw it out, next.
Okay.
So we write lyrics, we write songs together, but I bring the ideas of the
Right.
songs ahead of time. Like, for example, I write a little notes, or sometimes I record in my voice recorder.
Mm.
And then I share this list of ideas I have. And I will ask producer which of these ideas he feels strongly about, because I need him being emotionally involved. And then we choose something what we both are connecting,
Mm.
and then sit down and write.
Obviously, I've come across you. We mentioned before we started recording about social media. So I spend a lot of time going through things like reels, shorts, on social media, finding new bands, finding new artists. I came across one of your clips on social media, and obviously then checked out the last, not your most recent single, but the single before, and did a little review of that as well. But where how much time and where do your ideas come from creating social media content? Because Reels is obviously now, in the last, specifically probably the last 3 or 4 years, Reels and Shorts have become the go-to thing for, and originally would have been TikToks, but it's now not even just TikTok, it's the other platforms as well have really taken off. So creating new ideas to really engage with audience, where do they come from for you?
Um, so I post 4 or 5 reels a day. Reels, TikToks, Instagram, like Facebook. So you're right. You're correct. TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram are discovery platforms, very big searching engines, right? So this is how you give your music exposure. And you need around 7 touch points with a person in different shapes and forms before the person will start actually liking your music. And
Mm.
it's a psychology. I myself need to hear a song twice before I will like it or dislike it. So I just keep in mind that I need to create enough content that every unique viewer came to my social media was able to see this song in different 7 forms.
Right.
And because I'm not new in social media, I know lots of things about it and how it works. And one of the most important part is that it's not only about marketing, it's about who you are as a person. And viewer is engaging the most with emotions. If you let person feel the emotions, and it doesn't matter what, anger or love, that person is hooked in a good way. I mean, if 30-second content made you experience emotions, that's a big deal. You come to internet to scroll, to steam scroll, to consume information very quickly, and to turn off your brain, right? And then boom, and you are so invested. That's serious thing. People love making fun of social media, but now over time, when they see the power, they're like less and less um, saying it's cringe. But people, by the way, who say it's cringe, they actually are really horrified and terrified to do something about their lives. So this is cringe, that is cringe, and they're just choosing to do nothing. So I keep in mind that I need to, okay, it's a giant topic, but you know what I do? I imagine I'm on MTV.
Right. Okay.
And I remember, how did I fall in love with this artist, right? And it is easy to start posting something what is popular when, and it's normally not music. And then people start liking you for other reasons. And I've been there. I had big blog, not about music. I started it out of fear of failure because I started doing something what was very popular niche. And instead of doing music, I was doing that, and I got really good at that. And then I needed to learn how to show my music, not
Mm.
personality, because people start liking me, but they don't fucking give a shit about my music. So I was like, okay, what MTV did? MTV was discovery platform for us. You turn the TV on, whatever is playing, you're watching it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't like this song. And then you go and clean something around the house, go back, and then, oh, my, like, Aerosmith is playing, yay.
Yep.
Or like Blink 182 is playing, yay. And then you got Beavis and Butthead popping up. And then you have, welcome to my crib. I'm going to show you my house.
Mm.
And this is one of those artists you already engaged a few times, like you watched them on TV, then you heard them on radio, and then you saw the billboard somewhere, and then you saw them in magazine, and then friend of yours said that they like it, and then you saw their name on somebody's merch shirt. That's plenty of interactions for you to keep
Yeah.
remembering this band, right? So social media. I don't have MTV, I don't have radio, nobody gives a flying fuck about my music. How do I do it? So I just make different content of the same piece of the song
Yep.
in different shapes and forms and test it, test it, test it, test it, test it, test it. By the way, I am not very good at captions, especially POV captions, whatever, because English is not my first language. And when I'm trying to be funny, I actually make stupid jokes because I translate them in my head from Russian or Georgian to English, and it's lame. Russian
Right.
humor is very dry and doesn't work in English language. Doesn't. And Georgian humor is very simple and very funny in Georgian language, but then
Yeah.
it's very lame in English or Russian. So I'm not very good at this. So what I do, I watch this amazing British guy, Troy. Maybe you know him. He has his own band. He keeps saying that he has band which is desert rock band. They're doing
Right.
pretty well
Okay.
for themselves. They're from UK. Yeah, amazing guy. So he just shares captions, which works for many
Mm.
artists. And he shares thoughts that, listen, you can stay creative in your music.
Mm.
Be as fucking creative you want and you can in your music. This is your art and you are a musician and you are an artist. So you be authentic and amazing there. Social media, though, is a map. Imagine it's a house and you have your CD in a huge mansion and you put your CD on the top of the closet and left and hoping that somebody will discover
Yeah.
it in a huge ass mansion. Social media is you are putting this on the closet and say, yoo-hoo, people, I left something interesting for you on the top of the closet. And if you will do that, you will get that and you will get this value and that value. And people are like, okay, I'm going to check out that fucking CD
Mm.
on the top of the closet. So yeah, basically it's just marketing. You are doing things to give your music exposure. It's business. That's it.
Because one of the things you mentioned there, I never actually even thought about when you took because you were talking about there about captions, and I suddenly thought about humor because you're right. Because obviously, when I post this stuff and you post something on social and you put your captions on it. Now the English are very sarcastic. That is our humor base. We write things that we find are incredibly funny. And but other people in other countries might look at them and think, well, you're being really mean there. You're being a bit cruel, and we're not. We think it's hilarious. We think it's really funny that someone will talk about someone dying, like your mum's died or something, and we'll make a joke of it because we find it
Yeah.
hilarious. But other people go, how dare you? What, you can't say that. Especially Americans. I find the Americans are quite straight. They don't get British humor. But I've never thought about why. So you would have to almost test your humor or your commentary out and see what feedback you get on it because I just never thought of it that way. Because sometimes we probably have posted things and gone, why don't people get what we're trying to get across there? Hmm.
Okay, here's the thing. Um, as I said, it's a giant topic. And when I
Mm,
talk about this, I sound very professional. So sounds very cynical. Like, I don't know, am I using the correct word right now? When I said social media is just business, I meant that it is business. It's
mm,
marketing. It's not something what I fucking enjoy. I'm waking up in the morning like, oh, let me record another reel. No, fuck no. But I just want to be very clear. So I deliver the information correctly. I love that social media connects me with my people, and then I get to talk to them.
yeah.
That I love. That is not a business. Honestly, you know what my fear of today is? I think some of the artists in my like nation air like level experience similar fears. I am so personal with every follower. And sometimes I post something like, "Hey, my fan base is so small, I could fit you in the bus, right?" And
Mm,
uh, then I was like, hey, no, my fan base is so small. I know all of your names, and I can recognize you on my shows. That small,
yeah.
but here's the thing: it's very personal, and people share their stories to me in direct messages and open up, and that's magic. That's not a business. I want to emphasize this. That's not a business. I wake up at night to make sure that I responded all of DMs and comments I had, because there could be someone who is really needed right now. Like, that's important to me. So fear I'm experiencing right now, how do I maintain this on the bigger scale? Because I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe I'm gonna die in a few days, but I'm planning to become big. Like,
Yeah.
as big as it's possible in my niche. Like, I'm gonna fight for it, and if it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, whatever. Tried. I tried, but I'm worried that when I will get to my next level physically, I will not be able to maintain it. So going back to social media, I'm gonna sound now again very business. I'm turning off my artist and human brain and turning
Yeah.
on my business brain. And I can tell you this: I took me so much time to start attracting American audience in my algorithms, because I'm not American.
Mm,
And even though I was in America, my videos were watched in Eastern Europe. You know why? Because we not only use cultural jokes, we also use subgenre jokes.
mm,
Like, metal has their own funny stuff. And if you're alternative chick, you don't know those things. You don't. You don't.
right.
I
Okay.
started learning all of those things just now because I'm a metalcore artist now. But I was always new metal artist. You would think new metal and metalcore are close. Yes and no.
Mm,
Jokes are, listen, what is metal breakdown and why it is important and why you need to keep posting metal breakdowns and melting face emojis, only if you listen to this music. So if you are posting lame jokes about something the community don't belong, people don't really, they're like, yeah, yet another poser tried to squeeze in. So
yeah.
when you are talking with British accent about British type of things, you attract people who engage with this. So you get further and further from the worldwide audience. So, Young Blood is very popular in America right now
Right.
because of marketing,
Mm,
how he is being like presented by his marketing team. But he started as a you know, independent,
mm.
self-produced, self everything, right? So it takes time. Um so because I use Troy's captions sometimes, a majority of the
Right.
times, and it's hard for me to adapt because I don't speak English, and I'm so fucking afraid that I will change a little thing and it will sound lame because I do not speak English like that. You know what I mean?
And
Sometimes
English.
American viewers, they're like, "Why are you British?" I was like, "No."
The funny thing is English. When you we don't realize it as English how difficult the English language is. because of the way that we have one word that will mean about 15 different things depending on how you use that word in a sentence. And when people sort of explain it to us and we're like, oh yeah, I didn't really realize that. And you're like, yes, how you say the word there, depending on how you spell it and how you use it, means completely different things in a sentence. And I'm like, oh yeah, sorry about that to the rest of the world. We made a language that's actually really difficult. Sorry.
Listen, I think you will find it funny. So my husband is Australian,
Oh, okay.
and he lives in America for 10 years already. And he is still filtering what he's saying because if he's gonna be joking like Australian, he's gonna get canceled.
Mm,
Not canceled, but a few times he ended up in HR office for inappropriate jokes. You know how you say British jokes are like, dry
yeah,
humor too, and then it's very inappropriate for different countries because the way like there are words commonly used in Australia, which if you will say in America, you're gonna get in trouble.
yeah.
Um, I'm talking about R words like I cannot say that. Sorry. And C word, C cursing word. You know which one I
I
mean?
know the word, yes.
The
The
one.
one. The one. The one that's a common word here in the UK. We just call our best friends that.
CUNT.
Yeah.
CUNT.
And the funny thing,
Anyways,
it's just funny that people do that. Because we actually call our friends that in a
I know,
positive
I
way.
know.
We're like, you're a total utter. Hey.
Yeah, yeah, you can't. You can't. So, how do I feel about these words? I find the fact that he needs to filter this funny because he's English speaker and Americans are
Yeah.
English speakers and British are English speakers too. So as a not English speaker, I'm like, wow, this is so interesting. How do I feel about that particular word? I don't have cultural ties to it. I know what it mean, and if somebody used it in rude way,
Mm,
then it's sad. But if somebody used in friendly way, that is, I guess, funny. Listen, I use the word bitch all the time,
mm.
and I call friends bitches. Like, hey, bitches, what's up? Like, I
That's
like it.
fine. Yeah, that's absolutely
Somebody
fine.
told me like it depends how they call you. Like
It's the meaning. It's the
bitch.
meaning behind the word and how you
Like
use it,
so,
essentially.
it depends. Anyways, it's just very interesting. And my Australian husband keeps teaching me proper English,
Yeah.
and I refuse because I speak American English now.
Couple of final questions I've got for you today. I'm gonna tie this one together because it kind of does work. They mean the same thing, and I think you probably have a few things to say on this one. So we're in 2026 now. Where do you see the music industry being in 2036, 10 years from now? Where would you like it to be? And where do you see AI as part of that? So it's a three-pronged question here. So AI, future of music, because the AI music at the moment is the bane of our existence on things like streaming platforms, the dreaded Spotify, etc. But it's happening, and there are so many programs promoting it, saying get your music, create the content. Facebook's full of it at the moment. But does AI have a place within the music industry in some form or other? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I already spoke about this with a few people, especially with my husband. He's in tech,
Mm.
and we are in California and in Silicon Valley, particularly. We are in Los Angeles right now, but like we're going back and
Yeah.
forth. And my husband is working in Silicon Valley, so we are in the heart of the industry. Things can go in different directions. And I have very strong opinions about AI music and about AI artists. Horrible. And I'm not scared of this faceless AI artist who has millions streams in one day. I'm not scared of those. There are so many people who are human, who are using Suno to produce music and then lip sync over it. And it's really difficult to understand. But there's something odd about AI music. I always kind of like question, is this real? And then I go check, and then I realize, okay, this is AI. That's why I felt a little odd about
Yeah.
it. Anyways, my hope is that AI will become purely tool, and as a tool, it's a great thing. I went to a hospital, and a doctor asked me if I'm okay with her using AI tool of recording our conversation, which transcribes what we say straight to my medical record. So she doesn't need to type it and, God save, write it with hand, because doctor's handwriting is just
Yeah.
uh, um, and that's cool. Uh, like ChatGPT, stuff like that, which helps you like quickly figure out, analyze, all cool. So my hope is that it's going to be purely tool, and AI will be integrated to a software or whatever they are using as a tool. But here's the thing. Right now, there are so much investment to make AI popular, right? And they're gonna end one day. You know how sometimes product comes to the market and lots of investors are investing in promotion, and tons of money goes for promotion, and then suddenly everybody talks about it, right? And then what? It disappears very quickly. So my hope is when money will end. Look, listen, ChatGPT subscription right now is not as expensive as it actually costs.
Yeah.
People say one, like every time you ask something, ChatGPT dries up bottle of water, right? So like we are talking about monthly subscription of like what, $7 or something? I don't know.
Right.
$14? I don't know. Let's say $12. It's not nearly uh, enough to cover costs of running AI. So one day that huge amount of money was boosted into this will end. Will people continue use Suno if it will be if it will cost $1,000 for subscription?
Yeah, it could have another crash like we had with bitcoins and stuff like that,
So
because bit
yeah,
mining and everything,
hopefully,
mining sessions and stuff like that were a big problem.
hopefully,
Mm.
if it is stay integrated by companies for some stuff, like little, like people come up with always with some inventions, and then that get integrated and becomes big part of the society and modern technologies. That's great, as long as they fix these issues with the drying up water. Great, right? um, but we're talking about someone writing an album or creating art like this in 5 minutes, and then lip sync over it.
Mm.
They do this because it's free. Those people, if you will go and check what those people do, you will be very sad,
Mm.
because if someone needs pretend music to start thinking about themselves as an artist, those people are not in a good place, and they have this free tool to use it to start feeling better about
Interesting.
existential problems.
Yeah. An
So,
interesting way of putting it. I'd never thought of it from that point. I always just thought people just trying to do some way of making money or trying to get some sort of fame, fake fame, or
well, yes, majority of those which are creating this tons of streams and getting revenue, whatever, um, are people who don't care. They just put stuff out and they give passive income, whatever. But
mm,
people who put their face there, we're going to have less of that when subscriptions will go up. So hopefully that happens. And hopefully platforms such as Spotify or Apple Music, whatever, will create separate category for AI music. That would be awesome. Let them exist. If they want,
yeah,
they can run their own festival, whatever. I don't care. It's just I, as a consumer, don't want to listen to AI
yeah.
music.
So the
It's
final
just
one, the
disgusting.
final kind of thing we'll talk about today then will be really over to you because we've not really talked about what's going on with yourself, what's going on musically, shows. So what's the plan for this year for yourself?
Oh, 2026 have been very fruitful. I'll say this. 2026 either makes me bigger or it breaks me.
Okay.
But I'm very confident that I'm going to push it through. But we'll see. You never know. Maybe after this interview, people will be so unhappy with things I said. I'm going to be fucking canceled.
Oh no, they'll love it. I'm sure they'll love it.
Um, yeah, so financial pressure is very high.
Right.
Um, at this point of my career, the logistics are so complicated for me. Like, honestly, I already need assistant for like months. And I just absolutely can't squeeze in salary for assistant into my here's the thing. Every month I'm negative $3,000. Every single month I'm negative $3,000.
Right.
That money comes out of my pocket.
Yeah.
You have a record deal that comes out of record label pocket for first few years, and then they owe your ass for decade, right?
Yeah.
Nobody owes my ass, but I am breaking under financial pressure. And now I am grown enough to have a team to keep growing. Because at this point of my career, I started seeing that in order to grow and maintain professional relationships with professionals of the industry, respond emails on time, don't forget interviews, and
I wasn't gonna say anything.
yeah, stuff like that. I need team,
Mm,
and it's just it's just hard. So either I will be able to push it through this year until I will make it at least zero negative, so I can start hiring
yeah.
more people, or I'm just gonna fall into depression and fucking die.
Wow, what a positive way. There's a reel for you. Just cut
No,
that.
you know that I don't mean really die, right?
No.
We're on metal podcast in the end of the day. With
Yeah.
the British journalist, I think we can get a little rough in our conversations.
That's pretty much how we do most of our episodes. We're all going to either get there or we're all going to die. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Well, I genuinely wish you all the best this year. I know you've got, is it Viper Room coming up? Show? You've got the Viper Room coming up. I know you've got your new single, which came out on Friday.
Oh yes! Oh my God! You asked me this question. I never responded. I'm
I'm
so
doing your
sorry.
promotion for you here. Come on.
Yes, yes, you're
I'm
doing
being
my
your
pro.
assistant for you here now.
Oh my God! Yes. So sorry. Okay, let's go. Let me try.
Would you like to talk about that?
I have my first headlining show coming up in Los Angeles in the iconic The Viper Room on February 20th. I am dropping my first album on March 27th. And then I'm dropping feature song with a deathcore artist, which I keep secret for a moment. And that I'm going to my first US tour.
Oh, excellent. Is this a support tour, main tour? Who's this?
Support. Oh, not me. No.
No.
It's a support tour with a British artist, by the way.
Okay. You can't announce it yet, no?
I can. Jake Monroe.
Okay.
If you heard of him, I don't know how big he is in UK, but like some people know him.
Yeah.
Most people hate him.
And when's the tour going ahead?
October 2026.
Okay. Have you got anything festival wise this year? Any festival slots coming up?
No, unfortunately not. For some reason, I am not attractive enough for festivals
Festival
yet.
crowds. Yes, it's
I
always
would
tricky.
love
It's
to.
tricky festivals.
I would love to. It's just bookers didn't came across my life yet. Or
Best,
maybe
but
they sent me an email and I fucked up and I didn't respond.
that's why you need your assistant, you see. Well, generally, I'm going to say all the best for that, and hopefully you'll send me a copy of the album when it comes out, so that we can give it a review over here at ADK, because we will definitely do that for you. If you ever get, I doubt I'll ever get over to America. Well, definitely not while you've got Trump in power. I'm not going anywhere near your country until he's gone. We cover your country more in the news than I think you do half the time. We don't even know what's going on with our own politicians. We're too busy watching America because it's insane over there. But if you ever come to the UK on some shows, I will definitely come and check it out. But yeah, just all the best, and thank you for spending some time talking to me today.
Hopefully, I'll make to UK next year.